Good morning, students. Our topic is functions. To start with function, we will first come to the definition of the function. What is a function? In programming, function refers to a segment that group code to perform a specific task. Depending upon whether the function is predefined or created by the programmer, there were two types of functions. As when you are going to perform any sort of task, you can create function. You will create one special function, like if you want to go for addition, then you can create a function for addition. It will depend upon you which type of programming that you want to go for. As it has been written that depending upon whether the function is predefined or created by the programmer, we use some built-in functions, as we are using clear screen, get ch, exit, sqrt, power function. These are all the functions which are built in, which are already understandable by your compiler. You don't give any code for this, you just use the function directly. It is called predefined, but these type of functions can be created by yourself. There are two types of function. One is called the library function, other is called the user defined function. The function which are predefined, as I have told you that there are clear screen, get ch, exit. These are all built-in functions. These are called the library function. The meaning of these functions are already understandable by the compiler. You don't have to give any code for this. If you want to use clear screen, you will directly use the function. You don't write any code for clear screen. Fine. These are called the built-in function or library function. Then comes the user-defined functions. User-defined functions means those type of functions which are created by user according to his requirement. Coming to the library functions. Library functions are the built-in function in C++ programming. Programmer can use library functions by invoking function directly. Invoking means calling function directly. They don't need to write it themselves. You don't have to write the code, you just call the functions directly. There are some examples here, that is clear screen, get ch, sqrt. These are all the built-in functions or library functions. The meaning of these functions are easily understandable to the compiler. You don't have to give the meaning of that functions. Then comes the user-defined functions. C++ allow programmer to define their own functions. You can create your own functions. A user-defined function groups code to perform a specific task, and that group of code is given a name as an identifier. That means if you are using clear screen function, you will write CLR, SCR. But when you create your own function, you will give name to your function and you will call the function by that name. It is as an identifier. When that function is invoked from any part of the program, it all execute the code defined in the function body. As you can say that as I said, when the function is invoked, that means function is called. You can use the word function invoked, function call. Suppose you are using the function clear screen. You have used the header file hash include iostream.h. Then your void main section. Then you use clear screen, get ch. Let's see out welcome. Let's take an example. You have written this code, but you forget to give the file name conio.h. If you run this code, you will get an error. Error is You have used the function clear screen. You have used the function getch. Its respective prototype is missing. It will be like you have used the function clear screen and getch, but you haven't written its respective prototype. When you get this error, the prototype is missing. That means you have used the function, but you haven't written its respective header file. One way is go with the cursor under that particular function and press Control plus F1. Your help will be that open. The other way is, you know, the clear screen and getch function will be contained by the header file conio. Write down hash include conio.h. Your error will be resolved by it. It means if prototype error is here, this is the prototype of clear screen and getch. This is the prototype. Okay. Prototype of which these function. What you have did here, you have called the function. There is a function calling here. Similarly, you have used the function getch. You have called the function here. There is function calling here, right? This is the prototype. Conio.h is the prototype, and these are the function calling. What is the meaning of clear screen and getch? Clear screen will clear your screen. Getch will hold your screen. There must be some coding related to your clear screen and getch. The coding is at the compiler end, at the back end, that is not visible to you. The coding which is at the back end, which is at the compiler end, is called the function definition. That means what that particular function will do. That is called the function definition, where it is defined that what is that particular clear screen will do, what is that getch will do. Okay, that means if one function should have the three parts, one is called the function definition, other is called the function prototype, third is called the function call. When you are going to create your own function, you must contain these three parts: function definition, function prototype, and function call. I will write here which three parts your function should contain. Function should contain, first is function definition. In function definition, it contains all the source code that what your function will do. So you want to add something, then you will make a whole code that will perform addition, add operations, whatsoever is in the add operation. This is in the function definition. If I say function call is there, so you have made one function with the name of add, then when you will call the function, you will call by the same name that you have given as a function. Then third is called function prototype, or this thing is called function declaration. These are the three mandatory parts that your function must contain. Now first come to the function definition. How you will write your function definition? I will give you one example here. Then I will go with the ID with all the categories. When you are going to write your program, firstly, add simple header files here. Then your admin section. I'm going to make a function which is going to perform sum over the two numbers. I said function definition. Function definition means what my function will perform. My function will perform addition. We are having return type as void. Then I will give the name of the function as add. What is this return type? How you will write this? I will come over this topic later on. Firstly, take void add. This is the function definition. That means what my function is going to perform. In the addition, if you have to make the program for addition, what you will write here? Int a, b, c, c equal to c in the value of a and b, and c equal to a plus b, c out c. If you consider this code, this will be similar as you will write in your void main section. But I have put this code under the function. This is called the return type. This is the name of the function. And this is the function definition. Then comes to the function prototype. Whatsoever the return type you have mentioned here, you have to write down that same return type here. If you are using void here, you have to write the void here. Whatsoever the your function name, you have to write down the same function name. I am using here add function. So I will write here add with no parameters here. And it should be ended by semicolon. This is my function prototype. As you will use some other function like clear screen and getCH, your prototype is in the form of hash include conauto-attach. But when the function is user defined, you will declare the function by not using hash include. You will simply use that return type, the name, the same function name, whatsoever the parameters is in the function, and end it with a semicolon. This is the function prototype. Then last comes the function call. Function call means, well, this is one function call of inbuilt function, that is clear screen. This is one of the function call of inbuilt function. But when you are going to use your user defined function in the function call, use the same name as you have given in your function. Here you have given the name add. So you will write here add. This is called the function call. But one function should contain, if one function should contain three parts. First is the function definition. In the function definition, what a function will perform? A function will perform sum in this example. Then I said, if function must contain one prototype, this is the function prototype. Then you have to call the function. This is function call. When you are going to write function, your program must contain three parts. Remember this. Okay. Now I'll come to the return type and why I have made this empty function and what's all this. Okay. Let's first go with some theory. Then I will come to the categories. Then comes the advantages of using function. It avoids repetition of code. Suppose you are going to perform addition again and again in your program. One way is to write the code again and again. The other way is just call the function wheresoever your addition is required. It increases program readability. It divides the complex problem into a simple one. It reduces the chances of error. It modifies program become easier by using function. These are all the advantages of using functions. Then disadvantages. Its only disadvantage if it conceals hidden side effects that create unseen dependency between the code. It may be possible that your one function may depend upon the other function, but that code is not visible to you, or that code must be written by some other person. This will be the disadvantage, that if there is a dependency in between the function, then it will be difficult for you to handle the program. Then the components of the function that we have discussed: function must contain prototype, function must contain call, function must contain definition. If function declaration or prototype, if function declaration is a statement that informs the compiler about what is the name of the function, what are the type of the argument, what are the number of the arguments, what are the type of return value. Remember this thing, a function declaration should contain these 4 parts. What are the mandatory parts here is, first set name of the function. You can give name of the function, as in the given example, I have used the name of the function as add. Then it said type of argument. Type of argument, I have made the empty parentheses along with the add. I haven't used any argument here. Then I will come with another example by taking some arguments. Okay. Then the number of arguments, I haven't taken any arguments, so I'm not concerned with number of arguments. It will depend upon you which type of function you are going to use. So number of arguments and type of arguments will depend upon these. Then the type of return value. Here I have used the return value as void. What is the another return value? What can be used instead of void? I will come with an example how a return type can be changed. But that is again a mandatory part. You have to write down return type and function name. And depending upon your programming, that whether you are going to use arguments, number of arguments or not. Then comes the function call. To execute the code of the function body, a user-defined function needs to be invoked. Whatsoever you have written in your function definition, you have to call the function. That's why you are making the function's name, then the number of arguments. Then comes the function definition. A function definition consists of the body of the function. The body consists of block of statement that specify what task is going to be performed. We have created one example here that what type of function definition will do, that the sum will be performed among two numbers. Similarly, it will depend upon you which type of function that you are going to perform. When the function is called, the control is transferred to the function definition. How this control will be get transferred, I will come over the board. Then is syntax for function definition. Then the return type, name of the function. Arguments, it will depend which type of function that you are going to create, with argument, without argument, but without semicolon should be there. Then the set of statements. Then I come to categories of function. There are 4 categories of function. With this, you will be clear with what are return type, function definition, function calling, how the control will be get transferred and all. Okay. First thing is return type. It said a function should have a return type, then function name should be there, then the arguments, it will depend which type of function that you are going to use. Return type, you generally use here void or int. If you are going with the void, we use void. Void in the layman language, in an English language, the void means empty. So we will say when the return is nothing. Okay. But when you are going to use int as a return type, that means you want your return type is of integer type, then you use the keyword return here with some value or with some variable, either you are going to use, or with return zero value, return some variable. It will depend upon you which type of programming that you are going to use. You must have checked that when you are going to find a program over the internet, it has been written that your header files, your int main section, then your code. Okay. Instead of void main, they generally use int main when you are finding your program over the internet. When they are using int main instead of your void main, that means you must can check there. They have used the keyword as a return zero. Means whatsoever has been written here, you must have used the word keyword. Return is a keyword. So it must be clear that whensoever you are going to use void, you don't have to use the return keyword. But when you are going to use integer as a return type, you must use the keyword return here. I will make one program with both. One is with the void, other is with the int. How you will use it? This the categories of function that has been defined will be clear all your doubts like related to your return type, number of arguments. I will come to the first type, that is function with no arguments and no return type. Okay, first type is no arguments and no return type. Okay. I will make changes in the same program. So first program should be understandable to you so that you can categorize each category. These are the header files. Here I will write function prototype. The ideal way is write the name of the function prototype after creating your function definition. Okay. But as I am clear that no arguments, no return type is required. Okay. Firstly, I will write definition. Void add. This will be the same program that I have written previously. Void add, then int c. Now I will label it c equal to a plus b, c out c. This is the same program. Now the function prototype is void add, then is your void main section, then add get ch clear screen. First come to the category. It says no argument and no return type. What does it mean? Your function is using as a return, function definition is using void as a return type. So you are having no return type. Void means no return type because you are not going to use the keyword return here. Then it says no argument should be there. I'm taking it as a blank. No argument is there. So no argument. So your first type of function is no return type and no argument. This is the first category specified. Then your function will perform the addition. One variable is here, add the value of c. Then there is addition operation will be get performed, c out c. Then you have written the definition. Here you have added the normal program, that void main is there. This is the function prototype is there, which is having the same return type. Here you are using no return type. So you are using a void as no return type. Add is the name of the function. No argument should be there, but for prototype should be ended with semicolon. Then comes the void main section. In the void main section, you will use clear screen get ch, and this is the function calling Here you can see there is a function calling. As in the previous slide we have seen that it has been written the control will be transferred to the function definition. I said when I will write a program I will come to you how the control will be get transferred. Actually what the compiler will do, compiler will read your header files, it will come to the void main section. Whatsoever has been written here, the compiler will not go there. So compiler will go to the void main section. Under the void main section, compiler will get add. Then compiler will try to find out where the add has been written. The add has been written here in the function definition. The control of your program will be get transferred to here. Whatsoever you will write here will be get transferred to here. Means whole code will be get transferred to here. Okay, that is not visible to you, but what is actually happening in the backend, the whole code will be get transferred to here. So your function name is very much important. Whatsoever your function name is, use the same function name. Whatsoever the arguments are there, use the same number of arguments. If there are no arguments, right, there are no arguments are there. Okay, this is the transfer of control. This is your first type. Your second type comes with function with no argument but with return type. Now I will move to my second category, that is function with no argument but with return type. I will change the category here. It says no argument should be there but with return type. Okay, I will write the same program of addition here. Firstly, I will write the definition. It says no argument. That means it should have empty braces with the return type. So instead of void, I will use int here. Then the name of the function is add here. The remaining function will be same. It says no argument. I'm using here no argument with return type. Yes, int will provide the return type. How you will write this type of program? Firstly, you will use int ABC variables, send the value of A and B. Then addition will be get performed here. Then instead of cout, you will use your return keyword. Your value is calculating here in C, so you may use your return C. If you want to use your cout, you will write cout C, but you have to write down return 0 here. Either you may write return C, or if you are going to use cout C, you have to use return 0 here. Fine, because when you are going to use int will give you return. You have to use return keyword along with int. Either you may write the code by this way or that way. It will depend upon you. This is the easy way to write. Here you have to write 2 lines. Then function prototype is return type is int. So you will use int as a return type. Name of the function is add here. You will use the same function name. Then the prototype which will be ended by semicolon. Then your void main section or int main section. It will depend upon you. I'm using void main section. Then here you will call the function. Here it is clear screen. Then if you are using return C by this way, then you will call your function as cout add. This is new point for you. Why I'm using cout add. In the previous program, I have written add without any cout statement. Here I'm writing cout add because here I'm not finding any cout. If you are using cout C, then you can directly go by add. If you are going by this way, then there is no any display statement here. To display your function, you have to write down cout. Then you will call your function under that cout statement. Then your program will work. This is the program for with no arguments and with return value. Now moving to our third category. Third category is with the argument and no return value. Now the type has been changed from without argument to with argument. Okay. With the argument and no return value. Firstly, come to no return value. Our return type should be void. Then name of the function. Then it said the function should be with arguments. In the arguments, you will pass that arguments that are required to perform your function. That means the variable that you are going to use. Int AB, the variable where you are going to give the values. If I will write C equal to A plus B, then which values are required? If you are going to add two numbers, you require the value of A and B. You are not going to pass C here. But if I say you have to find the addition of three numbers, then your statement will become B equal to A plus B plus C. Then you are going to pass int A, int B, comma, int C. It will depend upon you how many arguments that you are going to pass. Similarly, if I say you have to find the factorial of a number, a number is there, one number is there, your program definition will become void fact will be the code int n, but means a one number is required. So when I covered this topic theoretically, it says number of argument will depend upon your program. Okay, here I am going to add two numbers, so I am passing here two arguments. Then I will declare the variable C here. In C equal to A plus B. Then C out C, because I'm going to use void here. And then my code is over. Fine. Here the function prototype will be get changed here. The return type is void. The name of function is add. Then the arguments. You must write the same number of arguments of the same type when you're going to define a prototype. One way is use the same type as int A, comma, int B, then end it with semicolon. Or you may write your prototype as void add and just the data type of the variable. No need to define the variables here. You can write here int. So you have taken here one variable as integer, other as float. Then I will change the type as float C. Here you are going to add one integer number with another floating number. Then your prototype will be get changed like int A, float B, or you may write void add int float. Means your data type or your function definition should match with the function prototype. The number of arguments should be same. You can't write like this, void add int. This will be wrong. Okay. It must match with your function definition. Then comes the void main section. Void main section can be written by two ways. Firstly, I will give you a simple way how you can write. This is clear screen, get ch. Then there is function calling. In the function calling, you will call your function as add. Okay, there is cout statement, so there is no need to cout add here. Add, pass the two value 5 and 6 here. Okay, how your program will work? It will check the function definition. It will go with the function calling. Okay, when the function calling is there, your program control will go there at the function definition. In the function definition, you pass your two arguments. One is 5, other is 6. That means 5 will be assigned to here and 6 will be assigned to here. It will be passed here 5 plus 6. You will get 11 here. Okay, by this way your program will work. So your arguments must match with the number of arguments that you have passed in the function definition. Here you can't pass one argument or three arguments. If there are two arguments, you have to pass here two arguments also. Okay. The other way is, this is fixed program. Whensoever you will run this program, your answer will be 11. But when you want to give value at the run time, you want a generalized program, then how your code will work? I will make a code here. There is clear screen function after the void main. Then use the variable int x comma y. You may also write a comma b. Okay, because what is the meaning of a and b? That is under this definition. Void main is not aware with the a of b that has been written there. You can give the name of the variable anything here. I'm using x and y here. Then you will pass here, call the function add. Sorry. Then you will see in the value of x and y. Then you will call the function add and pass the value of x and y here. Then get ch over. How this function is working? Your main will be get entered here. There is declaration of two variables x and y. Then there is scene. So you are going to give the values 2 and 3 here as an x and y. X and y will be passed to the function add 2, 3. So your program control will go here. 2, 3 will be get passed here. And your whole code will be get executed. By this way, your with arguments and no return value will work. When you are going to use your program with the arguments, then it means it is a mandatory condition. You must pass some arguments here. You can't call your function as add like this. You will get an error. It says arguments are missing. You have to pass the arguments when you are going to define your function with the arguments. It's mandatory condition that you must pass. The number of arguments should be same and the type of argument should be same. Now moving over to our last category, that function with the argument and with return type. It's a function with argument and with return type. With return type means we will use integer instead of void. It's a function with return type and with arguments. Arguments that I have already passed, I will use the same arguments. Okay. The remaining program will be the same. Here I will use return as a keyword and return the value of C here. Right? Because there is a return type is required, so I'm writing the return keyword here. Then my prototype will be get changed. It should be int add. The remaining will be same. Then in the void main section, I will use cout and call the function add 5 6.5. Okay. Only the difference here in the first program that I have covered, that with the arguments no return type, here I'm using return type, so I'm using the keyword return here and passing the arguments here, having one statement with cout. The function calling is with the cout statement to display. Now moving further with the function calling. You can call the function by two ways. One is call by value, other is call by reference. Call by value, when the function is called by value, a copy of actual arguments is passed to the called function. The copied arguments occupy separate memory location than the actual arguments. If any change done to those elements inside the function, it is only visible to the function. The values remain unchanged outside it. What does it mean? Let's understand it by creating one program. Then I will come to the theoretical part. Here I will make one program to swap two numbers. That means I'm going to create one function that will swap my numbers. Here I'm writing one swapping. As in the swapping using the third variables, I require two variables. So I will use here I will use one another temporary variable. Then C is the temporary variable, A equal to B equal to C, and C equal to A. Then after which I will see out the value of A and B here. And I will close this function. As the function is without return type, so I am going to write void. Name of the function is swap here. Two arguments as passed here. So the function will become like no return type, but with arguments function. Fine. Then in the void main section, I'm going to call this function as swap. Let's take some fixed value here. Int A equal to 8, int B equal to 9 here. Okay. Here I'm going to pass A comma B. I'm taking here constant values. Let's run this code. As you know, after this swapping, the value of A will become 9 and B will become 8. Let's save it. Compile it first. There are errors, declaration. Okay, I have used integer. Let's run the code. Let's compile it again. Then there is no any error. Let's run the code. The value it is giving some garbage value. Let's find out what's the reason. Let's see out the value. Okay. Void swap. Integer values are here. Then swapping is here. It's 912.803. Let's find out an error. Okay. There is C equal to A equal to B and B equal to C. Now the value is 9 and 8, which has been swapped. The value of A has been given as 8 and B as 9. But after running the code, my value has been changed. Let's find out what actually has been happened. I will make one cout statement here and will write value A and B. According to you, you have given the value of A as 8 and B as 9, which has been interchanged. But when I run this code, you can see the first value is 9 and 8. But actually the value is 8 and 9. That means call by value means when you are going to change the value, your value is temporarily changed. It is not permanently changed. But when you want to change the value permanently, you have to go by reference. Reference means you have to take the address values, means you have to take the value along with their address and exchanges the value. Then what is the way by which you can go with? You will make one pointer here, that is reference operator here, along with, in the same program I will do some changes. C is the temporary variable, so I will not make it in the pointer. So I will make one references here. Now I will exchange the addresses. Then by swapping, now let's check the result. Here I have to change the prototype also, because the prototype should be like pointer. There is no any error. Let's check the, now the answer is 98 and 98. Fine. Firstly, what has happened that your value has been swapped, but actually in the memory references, the same values are existing. But when you change the value by the address, by the reference, then your actual values will be get changed. Okay, this was the concept of call by value and call by reference.